7 charities have just cut ties with Sarah Ferguson, and the reason why could destroy what's left of her public image. At the heart of the scandal is a single email from 2011, one that's been called embarrassing, contradictory, and devastating for her credibility. The Duchess of York, Prince Andrew's ex-wife, is now facing one of the harshest reputational blows of her entire career. It all started when British newspapers published a private email she had written to Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, the same Jeffrey Epstein whose name still casts a toxic shadow over the rich, powerful, and royal. In the email, Sarah Ferguson appeared to apologize for ever publicly criticizing him. She went so far as to call him her supreme friend, praising his generosity toward her and her family. And she admitted she knew he felt hellaciously let down by her earlier comments. The problem? Just weeks earlier, she had gone on record denouncing Epstein. She'd called her involvement with him, including accepting money, a gigantic error of judgment. She had sworn to never have anything to do with him again. And yet, behind closed doors, she was sending an email that sounded almost like a plea for forgiveness. That contradiction was enough to trigger an avalanche of fallout. The first domino fell quickly. Julia's House, a beloved children's hospice, announced that the Duchess was no longer its patron. They bluntly stated that her role had become inappropriate. Then came the flood. The Teenage Cancer Trust, where she had been a patron for 35 years, also severed ties. Prevent Breast Cancer, which she had partnered with after her own cancer diagnosis just last year, cut her loose. The Natasha Allergy Research Foundation, Children's Literacy Charity, the National Foundation for Retired Service Animals, all gone. Even the British Heart Foundation confirmed she would no longer be their ambassador. For Sarah Ferguson, this was more than a setback. It was a collapse. 4 years, her remaining public image had been built on charity work and philanthropy. She was no longer a working royal, she had no official duties, but she still carried the identity of a duchess who gave back. Now, those very charities have decided her name is a liability. They've declared she is no longer appropriate as their representative. And the timing couldn't be worse. When much of her credibility depended on these associations, they were stripped away overnight. But of course, Sarah Ferguson isn't staying silent. Through her spokesperson, she claims the infamous email was written under pressure. According to her team, Epstein was threatening to sue her for defamation after her public denunciations. The email, they say, was an attempt to calm him down, to defuse the threat. Her spokesperson insisted she regrets any connection to Epstein and that she's deeply ashamed of her past dealings with him. Still, that explanation leaves a lingering question. If she truly cut him off, why did she feel the need to write such a glowing message in private? And then there's the unavoidable shadow of her ex-husband, Prince Andrew. His own ties to Epstein have already cost him his career as a working royal. He was forced to step back from duties, stripped of patronages, and disgraced after his disastrous BBC Newsnight interview. That infamous photograph of Andrew walking with Epstein in New York Central Park in 2010 still circulates online, a constant reminder of his judgment, or lack thereof. Now, with Sarah Ferguson's email surfacing, it's like history is repeating itself, tying the Duke and Duchess of York to the Epstein scandal all over again. What makes this even more explosive is the broader context. Epstein's connections continue to damage reputations years after his death. Leaked documents, hidden contacts, even names in his so-called birthday book keep surfacing. Just this month, messages linked to British politician Peter Mandelson cost him his post as ambassador to the U.S. And Sarah Ferguson's email proves that even a single slip, even a message over a decade old, can erase decades of charitable work in an instant. The truth is, Sarah Ferguson has been a survivor in royal circles. Time and time again she has clawed her way back after scandals, bankruptcies, and bad press. She was even welcomed back into the royal fold at Sandringham for Christmas in recent years. She was praised privately for keeping Prince Andrew out of the spotlight when new controversies emerged. But this may be different. Because it's not just about her, it's about the toxic weight of Epstein's legacy, a shadow that Buckingham Palace itself wants no part of. So the question now is simple, but brutal. Can Sarah Ferguson survive this? Or has her reputation finally reached the point of no return? After all, charity work was her lifeline, and with that cut away, what's left? What do you think? Was the Duchess simply following bad advice when she sent that email, or does it reveal she was closer to Epstein than she ever admitted? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more untold stories and royal revelations, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell, because this scandal is far from over, and the next chapter could be even more explosive.